Are you anxious and depressed? Well, join the club.
That was
Today's
everybody.
episode,
Shut up.
yeah, suck it up. Well, you're in luck because today's episode, we're going to be talking about anxiety and depression. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's up, Danny? That's like the only anxiety and depression thing where we don't coddle people.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, "You poor little thing," and we're just like, "Shut up."
Everybody is. Get over
Yeah,
yourself. It
yeah,
is true
right.
that it is funny that like everybody you freaking talk to because there's just too much anxiety inducing crap all around us. And it's funny, like I remember watching there was a really good documentary on Netflix about social media. And they were talking about like all the how they hired all these like top psychologists to come in and like, help them basically manipulate people. And it's all emotionally targeted, right? So it's always like everything in your feed, those algorithms are meant to get your emotions up. It's the same with the news. It's the same with all these opinion talking head things, right? It's meant to just make you angry or anxious or depressed because then you'll keep scrolling and looking. But if it made you happy, you would just walk away. Or if it made you like, if it didn't make an emotional, thing, you could easily walk away from it, right? But I think
Mhm.
that's what's interesting. But so we're just surrounded by stuff that's constantly trying to make us on edge. And then people wonder why they're anxious and
Yeah,
depressed.
it's like turn off the garbage, put down your phone, unsubscribe from social media, stop watching the news, and life gets a lot easier.
It
But I
does.
won't be, but I won't be a good citizen. I won't be up to date on what's going on. People will know stuff, and I won't be on the cutting edge. Yes, you will, guarantee.
It's not that hard.
I gave it up in 2008, and believe me, everybody loves to talk your ear off. They
You
think
know
it's
what's
the
funny
best thing
too?
ever that you don't know the news, so they can download their bullshit into you. Yeah,
And
they
even
love
when
it.
you don't know it, I can still guess exactly basically what's happening.
Yep, exactly.
It's not hard. Same thing's been going on forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's every day. It's just the end of the world. This new thing is the end of the world. This person's the worst person ever. We need to cancel them and everything they ever stood
Right.
for. And
And
it's
it's
just
like,
like the same. And this type of person is, everybody needs to love and respect them. And
yeah,
because, yeah, all that.
everybody's just
It's
outraged about everything. It's all
same thing over and over again.
it's horrible.
Well, it's kind of like the analogy of like, letting the mud settle in the water. How like, we can have peace if we just let the mud settle. But the thing is, we've got it in a blender going on high speed nonstop.
Dude,
And yeah,
well, and it's like everywhere you go. What's funny is like even if you don't watch the news, even if you don't use social media, like you go into a bar, the airport, and it's on the TV, super
dude, I
loud,
hate
like,
that
oh
stuff in
God,
the
I know.
airport, how they have TVs all over the place with
And
the news
everyone's
on. It's like I
news,
could care less. Yeah.
24 news, like hour
Yep.
cycle. It's just the
Yeah.
worst thing we ever did was that and like social media probably, but
Well, I mean, there's also plastics in the ocean
well, that
and
too. All those other
all
horrible
all the
things.
batteries.
That's
You know,
true. Like the 6,000 chemicals we created that aren't
there's a
natural, they're
few
in the
things
world.
we've
There's
made a
other,
couple
they're
mistakes.
also bad.
One or two.
One or two.
But
Yeah, it is
it
funny.
wasn't intentional.
No,
Uh,
actually,
so
it probably
interesting.
was, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, well, interesting thing about anxiety and depression. So, like, there's actually really, really good ways to address them. Like, I
oh
I, I actually found this because I've been reading a whole bunch on the topic,
yeah.
and
Before you say that,
there's
though, because
actually like really good scientifically backed studies on effective treatments that are
yeah, well, that's
non-drug related treatments that actually work way better than the drugs.
that's what
And
cracks me up
it
is
seems like nobody knows about them.
there was a so we were watching a movie last night, and a commercial came on. It was for a drug, and it cracked me up because it was a drug that you take in conjunction with your depression medicine if your depression medicine isn't working good enough. And I was like, because like none of those, what's funny is like none of those medications work well. They're
No.
like barely, barely better than a placebo most of the time, barely,
But
if
yeah,
at all.
but for
Like
the most part, they're not better than a placebo
no,
because the only studies that the companies report are the ones where they actually have a marginal increase above a placebo. But for the most part, they're not fixing
and
it, they're
they're
not curing it, anything like that.
well, the crazy
But
part is
they're
people don't realize too the line for what counts as like they passed the threshold of like this is successful medication is so freaking low. It's like it
yep.
just has to be better than the alternative if there is one or a placebo. which is like,
Not to mention that antidepressants give you like a 3 to 5 times higher chance of suicide, which is exactly not the type of drug you would want to put somebody on if they're
I
depressed.
know. But
It's like it
well,
doesn't make sense. It's like you're not feeling good, you're depressed, you're having thoughts about suicide. Okay,
number
we're gonna
one
put you on
side
a
effect of
drug that's
this,
gonna increase your chance of suicide 3 to 5 times.
number one side effect. But you know what kills me though too?
And it's marginal. It may not be better than a placebo. Like we could give you a sugar pill and you could do just as well.
It's more about how you think about it than it is actually this doing anything. But then
Yeah.
you're also stuck on them because you can't even like get most of them you can't stop taking either, which it's like horrible.
Dude,
And
especially, okay, yeah. So like especially the anti-anxiety medications like Xanax and
oh
stuff like
God,
that,
yeah.
because you stop taking that and it gives you anxiety. Like the thing that you're taking it for, if you get off
Oh
of it,
yeah.
you have withdrawal symptoms and you also get anxiety from
It's
coming off
horrible.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because it's I think one of our I think well, this is my I guess anecdotal opinion, but I think one of our biggest problems is we don't give people a chance to eat to get healthy
You mean
either.
aside from the 24-hour news cycle?
And that besides that. No, but I mean like, like it's like you have look, everybody has to work. Society moves very fast, right? But it's like when something does happen like this, you can't just stop your life, and go get help and get healthy. So what
Hmm.
do? People do the quick solution, which is take this thing, because this thing, we're telling you will help. And so they just swallow the pill every day and hope that it helps without doing anything else. And it's like
Hmm.
that is such a crappy system. And I really think it's funny because we think medicine's so advanced, but we're still in its infancy. I mean, if you
Totally.
think about it, like it's not like it's been around that long.
Yeah. Well, pretty much for the most part, there's really only a couple types of medications that actually made a huge difference. The rest of them are just kind of Like
Like
antibiotics, huge difference, life-changing
vaccines, yeah,
difference.
helped.
Yeah, vaccines, that's, people argue that. But insulin,
Do
antibiotics and insulin, those are the two types of things that actually made a noticeable difference.
you know what
Other
made a
people
huge
might
difference
say
too?
like,
Was actually
mm,
clean water and
yeah, right.
sewage actually did a bigger
And
deal.
doctors washing their hands
Yeah, that helped
between
too.
like doing necropsies, cutting apart dead
What
people
was
and
it was
delivering babies.
that one president that got shot that he only died because the wound got bad afterwards. This was back in the
Mm,
day. It wasn't like recent,
yeah,
obviously. I forget what his name was. It might have been Cleveland or something like that. But
Garfield.
yeah, Garfield, that's it. And they were talking about like
Yeah.
the reports of like the doctors rode up on their horses, didn't wash their hands, and then they're like in the hole.
The doctor's probably like got his arm up the horse's ass. You know, like my horse has got colic.
Hold
Okay,
on,
let's check that bullet
he's got an
hole.
itch on his butt. Hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
he's in hell. Like
Yeah.
for real though. But like that was our biggest like boon to like life expectancy was like,
Hmm.
not living in crap all the
Definitely.
time with parasites and stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, we've explained some reasons why medications don't work, and clearly we have all the authority to say so because
Damn right.
we're both experts in the field.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, there's actually a bunch of there's this really awesome book that I've been enjoying a lot. It's the shortest of his books. It's called When Panic Attacks. So it's like all about how to get over all different types of anxieties and then also depression. And in it, he goes into a whole bunch of these statistics for antidepressant medications, which are
Nice.
just mind blowing because they don't work at all. Like the
Well,
all
that's what's crazy. You
the
can look it up. I mean, that information
yeah
does exist. There's been studies on them, and like they really don't work. That's the crazy part. Because I think
yeah
originally they're one of those things that's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a band-aid to help you do other
yeah
stuff. I mean, that's the appropriate. People just stay on it forever, which is
yep.
not.
And like people just didn't know because before
Yeah.
the antidepressant medications, people would take St. John's wort. And then all the pharmaceutical companies put out these tests that said St. John's wort doesn't work, antidepressants work. And it's like they actually look back at the studies and it's actually both of them don't work. It's
Yeah.
just you were pulling a few studies that showed marginal increases in antidepressants. And so because you could patent that and sell a lot more, get a
Well,
lot more
that's
money
actually
from it.
when I used to teach bioethics, I would do a lot on like research ethics, so like especially with human subjects. And that's what really opened my eyes to a lot of this stuff was like how they approve these drugs and that process and stuff and what they need to show. I realized like, dude, half this stuff, like, unless it's something that's like very physical that you can see, like a broken arm is going to heal, right?
Hmm.
Like those kind of things, it's like you can clearly show the relationship between the treatment and the help because somebody who didn't get that process, their arm's still broken and healed really bad, right?
Yeah.
But stuff like this, it's like really hard too. So I think that's where they get people because it's hard to say like, like what is 5% better? Really arguably nothing, but it sounds
Hmm.
like something.
Exactly. And so in taking a look at a lot of these like anxiety type things, one thing he noticed is that a lot of people are resistant to actually getting better. And there's a good reason for this because they believe their anxiety and they believe their depression actually does stuff for them.
Yeah.
So like and it may be hard to kind of understand this, but it's like if you're anxious, if you're afraid of germs or something like that, you're a germaphobe, you don't want to touch germs, you believe that by not touching germs, you're actually saving yourself and you're saving your family from some infection that'll kill them and
Yeah.
they'll die. Something
Yeah.
along those lines. So even though you may want to not be a germaphobe, you're not likely to give it up and address it.
Well, the other hard part is also it's also your current norm.
Hmm.
And like even though it's a crappy place to be in, you know what it feels like. You know what to expect. You wake
Yeah,
up the
you're
next
like
day,
a baby in a
yeah,
shitty diaper. You're like,
it sucks, but this is life.
but it's mine.
Yeah, it's my shit.
Yeah.
But it's the truth though, right? Because I think that's a big part of it too, is like we're also scared of like what would it be like to not be like this essentially? Because this is
Hmm.
how I see myself now. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's very
So
strange.
it's really cool in that in the book he talks about dealing with the resistance that we have, and then recognizing the distortions in our thinking because in there are some distorted thoughts,
Oh,
and
there's
then
definitely some. Yeah.
yeah, and then the best thing for it is exposure therapy, getting doing the thing that you're most afraid of. And for
Huh.
pretty much all anxieties, you need to do that. And the crazy thing, so like this is a really interesting thing, is like a lot of people who are anxious will say, like, I can't do that because that's just like it'll push me over the line, I'll whatever. And it's like every time you avoid it, it just reinforces that
Yep.
anxiety.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like you're making your own barrier, right? And it's
Hmm.
really funny, but it's true. Like, dude, there's so many people I know that are like, I don't like calling people on the phone or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, you don't like it. Nobody, I don't think anybody particularly loves to call strangers on the phone, or deal with
Hmm.
BS, but it's like, you definitely could do it.
Right. Yeah.
But they're convinced they can't. And I think that's the crazy part. It's like we're like our own worst enemy, but we could also be our own greatest help. But we just
Hmm.
refuse to like do the things that would make it better.
Yeah. And he's also got a whole bunch of great suggestions in that book and also Feeling Good and Feeling Great about dealing with depression because it is he calls it the world's oldest con,
Yeah,
where basically we believe these distorted thoughts. And it's so easy to believe them because like I know you and I talk about this all the time, how
I
like
did for a long time. Yeah.
when we're tired at the end of the day, like the stuff that goes through our minds, like we just think, oh, my life is the worst ever. Like how it's
I'll
just
never be
not
able to
fair.
keep
Like
doing this. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then we go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and we're like, I don't even know how I thought that.
But you know what's funny? It's like because in that moment there is this like slight truth that like if I was always like this, as tired as I am now, yes,
Mm,
it would be very hard to do those things. But you're forgetting that like you just need sleep and then you won't be like that. Like it's really stupid. But we take the reality of now to be like a fixed
mm,
thing instead of,
yeah.
changeable.
Yeah. So if you have anxiety or depression, check out the books by David Burns, Feeling Good, Feeling Great, When Panic Attacks. He has some other books
They are
too.
good. You've been talking about a ton. I read some of the
Dude,
samples of them. They're very good.
I mean, this is like
He's a good
life-changing
writer
stuff.
too.
He's literally like the Michael Jordan of psychotherapy. He's like on a whole different level from everything
Well,
else.
we need to do the reality is like, I
And
mean, that's the other thing. Psychology too is such a new field. Like that's people forget that. It's been around for
dude,
like what, like 60 years? Really?
and the reason, dude, and the reason why he is on the next level is because he believes in science-based psychology. So, like most psychology and psychotherapy and everything is just schmoozing behind closed doors with no accountability or nothing. But he
No, it's just
developed the team CBT model, and the T in team stands for testing. So before and after every session, he has his clients fill out a questionnaire in terms of anxiety and depression.
yeah. Because most
And
psychiatrists they just sit and talk to you indefinitely for
yep.
however many years you want, and there's no
Yeah,
bar for you getting
because
better.
they're actually incentivized not to help you.
Yeah,
Because if they fix your problem, you're no longer a client. They're not making money from you. So they're
yeah.
incentivized to just milk it forever.
Much like the drug companies are incentivized not to cure things.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, right?
I
Yeah.
also think I also think that a lot of the anxiety and depression is just from we're just repressing so much stuff. Like ever since political correctness, like
Yeah.
that around the same time that political correctness started is when anxiety and depression just went through the roof because people just have to repress all the stuff they think and feel, and then they feel bad because they think and feel this stuff. And it of course that causes anxiety and depression.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like that stuff, like when people get on that bandwagon, they expect everybody to immediately change. And it's like, look, I'm sure lots of people will change, but you gotta also give them time to like adjust to social changes, and like, but they
Hmm.
just demand it's immediate. And I think, yeah, that's probably true. There's so many
Yeah.
factors, I think, and I think it's tough because things do move fast. We don't give ourselves time to even work through anything. And that's a huge part too. Like just realizing, like, look, I might be anxious and depressed. It might take time to get over, but it's definitely doable. I just need to do some stuff to get over it. And I think,
Hmm.
yeah,
So like we were saying in the beginning, suck it up.
yeah. I don't feel bad. We've both been through this so many times. It's like,
And it's a recurring
it
thing. It's
is.
like it's something that'll just be. Here's another thing. It's like, we always want to get over these negative things. What about like how about
They're
the
part of life.
mindset? Exactly. How
Yeah.
about the mindset, you know what? I'm probably just going to suffer with this for the rest of my life, but that's okay.
I've been
I can
thinking,
do this.
I've been thinking a lot about, what like Aristotle and like the virtue ethics they say about like happiness, because like it was flourishing. And their idea of like, the point of being virtuous is that you'd be better equipped to deal with the bad things in life because you can't stop. Look, people are going to die. There's going to be accidents. Things are going to happen. And for them, a good life was a life where you were more stable so you could handle those ups and downs healthily. And then, therefore, you have a overall happier, better life, right? But it doesn't mean that
Hmm.
you're always happy. That's stupid. Nobody's going to be in that state forever, right? There's always going to be bad things that happen and stuff that happens. So I always like that idea because it's like, yeah, we're not aiming at like some fixed state. And I think that's another lie we tell ourselves that gets in the way of all these feelings too and makes it worse because it's like, I'm depressed. I should be this all the time.
Hmm.
And it's like, well, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just like accepting that this is probably it's self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Accepting that this is probably going to be a piece of you. Like you're probably going to be on the side of
You're an
depressed. And it's
Eeyore.
just like, hey, exactly. Yeah, I know. And that's just the way it is. But it's like that I don't know where it was, but I heard that there's like a whole bunch of different Buddhas, There's like the Buddha that everybody thinks of, but there's also like the grumpy Buddha and the angry Buddha and the happy Buddha and the horny Buddha, who knows? But there's all these different Buddhas, and that's just their nature.
Well, it's all, right? Human beings we're the whole thing. You're not
Yeah.
ever one thing. And I think we try so hard to hide parts of ourselves, to deny parts of
Hmm.
our nature, instead of just accepting it and living with it. And I think that's, yeah, a huge, huge problem and cause of it.
Yeah. The other big cause for depression, at least for me, was I mean, like it was basically like an unconscious psychological conflict where
Yeah.
basically there was something that I needed to do in my life that I was not willing to see. And it caused me to become very, very depressed. And then as soon as I realized that and fixed that thing, the depression lifted immediately.
Yeah. And you know what?
Literally in one day, like in less than a day, in like 5 minutes. Once I took care of that thing that was just causing me psychological conflict unconsciously, as soon as I took care of that, it was gone.
In one of the books I read a while ago on Buddhism, they talked about meditation and they were talking about the point of it. And the way they described it was like you were untying the psychic knots. And I
Hmm.
like that idea because it's like that, right? It's like all this crap that we carry around with us that like we don't necessarily, they're not like conscious thoughts at the level like where we're aware of them, but they're causing all kinds of things to happen in us, like
Hmm.
depression, anxiety, and stuff. And through meditation, like we can untie those knots slowly and get to that place where we're accepting ourselves. I always thought that was a cool way to look at it too.
Yep.
Mm.
So if you want to get started meditating, you can buy our course, 3 easy payments to 99.99. We'll
Learn
put
how
our
to
Black
meditate in
Friday link down in
7 days.
the comments. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can't learn to meditate.
You'll never figure it out.
You'll never get it. Man, this is like top, no, top 10 motivational episodes ever. You suck.
You suck. We suck. Everybody sucks. Moving
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. In the end, we're all gonna die.
It's all
Doesn't really
constructs,
matter.
man. Just
Hmm.
change your thinking.
If we're not just all these freaking programming stuff. Yeah. Well, anyways, so there you have it. Our episode on anxiety and depression. I mean, clearly, if you're considering harming yourself or someone else, get help as soon as possible. Dial 911. Go to your hospital.
They also have that
Get a
new
mental health
it's
professional.
like I don't know the number. There's a that new 3-digit number now too
Yeah,
for
clearly it's
suicide.
effective.
Uh, well, it just came out. I want to say it's like 388, but I don't want to give people the wrong number. So look it up.
They're gonna be dialing like 411. Like, hello, this is information. I'm critically depressed. Help me.
The time of the day is like
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
well,
all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, there must be something wrong with you. But we have a bunch of other episodes, and you can find them wherever you find stuff. So thanks for
yeah.
listening. We'll catch you later. Until next time, I'm Randy. That's Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.